Today's episode is one I believe every older adult should hear because the topic we're covering is something that affects millions of seniors silently. It doesn't always start with pain. It doesn't always give a warning, and far too many people discover it only after it's already done damage. Dr. Hinohara. Today we're talking about stroke and, more importantly, the everyday habits that increase the risk without people realizing it. Before we begin, I want to thank you again for being here. You've spent more than 70 years guiding patients through prevention, healing, and long life. And each time you speak, you remind us that aging is not a decline. It is a responsibility. A responsibility to understand our bodies and care for them with more wisdom than ever before. Greater than thank you, David. You're right. Stroke is one of the greatest health concerns for adults over 60. Yet, it remains one of the least understood. People believe strokes happen suddenly. But the truth is, a stroke is usually the final step in a long process the body has been warning us about for years. High blood pressure, thick blood, inflammation, weak vessels, poor circulation, nutrient deficiencies. These are the early signs. But seniors often say, "I feel fine," and ignore them until the day something irreversible happens. My purpose today is to help people understand why the risk rises after 60, why the signs are often silent, and how simple changes in daily habits can drastically reduce that risk. And doctor, something you said to me off camera really struck me. Strokes do not begin in the brain. They begin in the blood. That's a powerful shift in perspective. Greater than yes, David. If we take care of the blood, we protect the brain. This is the foundation. And today we will talk about the foods, habits, and vitamins that either protect the vessels or quietly damage them. Doctor, let's begin with something fundamental. Why does the risk of stroke rise so sharply after the age of 60? Many seniors feel fine, even active, and then suddenly they're told their blood pressure is higher, their arteries are stiffening, or their blood is too thick. It feels like it happens overnight. But I know you often remind people that it doesn't. Help us understand what actually changes in the body with age. Greater than yes, David. The truth is that the body changes slowly, quietly, and predictably. But because these changes rarely cause pain in the beginning, they go unnoticed. By the time someone reaches 60, several processes are happening at once. The arteries become less flexible. The blood becomes slightly thicker. The vessel walls become more sensitive to pressure. The heart must work harder to push the same amount of blood, and the body becomes less efficient at repairing small internal damage. This combination creates what I call the silent foundation of stroke risk. Let us look at these changes more closely. The arteries lose their youthful elasticity. When we are young, the arteries behave like soft, flexible tubes. They expand easily with each heartbeat, cushioning the pressure. After 60, this elasticity declines because collagen, the protein that makes vessels flexible, begins to break down. When vessels become stiff, blood pressure rises, blood flow becomes turbulent. Tiny cracks appear in the vessel lining. Inflammation begins to accumulate. This does not hurt, but it weakens the vessel walls over time. Blood slowly thickens with age. Many seniors do not realize this. After the age of 60, the blood naturally becomes thicker and stickier. This is due to mild dehydration, reduced kidney efficiency, less nitric oxide production, slower circulation, higher fibrinogen levels, a clotting protein. Thick blood moves more slowly and is more likely to form clots. And a clot is one of the main triggers of stroke. The heart works harder. The heart's job is to push blood through this aging network of vessels. But when the vessels stiffen and the blood thickens, the heart must produce more pressure. This leads to high blood pressure, the number one risk factor for stroke. Many seniors think high blood pressure is a disease. It is not. It is a response to these age-related changes. Repair mechanisms slow down. In youth, the body repairs damaged vessels quickly. But after 60, these repairs become slower and less complete. Small cracks in the artery walls remain longer. Inflammation stays higher. Calcium begins to accumulate in places where it should not. Cholesterol sticks more easily to damaged areas. These processes build up over years, not days. What stands out here is how quiet all of this is. None of these changes cause pain. None of them send a clear warning. They happen in the background until the body reaches a breaking point. Greater than yes, David. This is why stroke is often called silent until it is not. People believe a stroke is sudden, but it is usually the end result of years of unnoticed changes. But and this is the most important message, these changes are not irreversible. We cannot make the arteries young again. But we can support them. We can thin the blood naturally. We can reduce vessel inflammation. We can improve circulation. We can lower blood pressure through lifestyle, not force. And we can dramatically reduce the risk of stroke through simple habits. Doctor, you've often said that the body speaks long before a stroke ever happens, but the signals are subtle. Many seniors overlook them or assume they're just normal aging. But in your years of medical practice, you've seen these early clues again and again. Help us understand what are the warning signs the body gives before a stroke becomes a real danger. Yes, David, the body whispers before it shouts. And if seniors learn to notice these whispers, the risk of a stroke can be reduced dramatically. Let us look at the most common signals. Sudden fatigue after small tasks. When the blood is not flowing freely, even simple tasks, climbing stairs, walking across a room, carrying groceries can make someone unusually tired. This is not just age. It is the brain and heart receiving less oxygen than they need. Morning confusion or slowed thinking. Many seniors experience a few minutes of fog or difficulty focusing after waking. Occasionally this is normal, but frequent morning confusion can mean circulation to the brain is compromised overnight. Blood oxygen levels are fluctuating. Blood pressure is unstable. This is one of the earliest neurological clues. Episodes of dizziness or feeling unsteady. This one is extremely common and extremely overlooked. A sudden wave of dizziness, even if it lasts just seconds, may indicate narrowing arteries in the neck, blood pressure instability, reduced blood flow to the brain. Dizziness is not something to ignore. Numbness in hands or feet. Many people blame this on nerves or arthritis, but poor circulation is often the true cause. If the small vessels in the extremities are struggling, it can mean larger vessels are also under stress. Shortness of breath not related to activity. If someone feels breathless while sitting still or with minimal movement, this may mean the heart is overworked, blood is too thick, circulation is impaired. This is also a precursor to both stroke and heart issues, high blood pressure that comes and goes. Some seniors say, "My blood pressure is high one day and normal the next." This fluctuation is not random. It is a sign that the nervous system and vascular system are struggling to regulate themselves. This unpredictability is one of the strongest early warning patterns. Greater than doctor, everything you're describing sounds so familiar. These are symptoms people often dismiss as just getting older. But what you're saying is that these are early indicators of the vascular system struggling. Greater than exactly, David. Stroke is not a surprise to the body. It is a surprise only to the person who was not listening. But the good news is that these early signs give us time. Time to correct the habits that increase stroke risk and time to adopt new habits that protect the vessels. And that brings us to the core of today's discussion. Doctor, I think this is the part most people will be surprised by because when we talk about stroke risk, most seniors think of salt, cholesterol, or genetics. But many of the real risks come from everyday habits, things people do without thinking. You've always said that stroke isn't caused by one big mistake, but by small habits repeated for years. Help us understand the habits that quietly put pressure on the vessels and increase the risk. Greater than yes, David, what damages the arteries is not a single event. It is repetition. A vessel can handle stress, but repeated stress without repair leads to breakdown. Let us examine the habits most seniors overlook. Not drinking enough water. Dehydration thickens the blood. When the blood thickens, the heart must generate more pressure to push it through the vessels. This increases blood pressure and stroke risk. Many seniors drink less because they do not feel thirst as strongly. They avoid water to reduce nighttime bathroom trips. Medications cause dryness, but dehydration is one of the simplest and most dangerous risk factors. Sitting for long periods without movement. When we sit for hours, circulation slows, blood pools in the legs, clotting factors increase, vessels become more rigid. Even standing and moving for 2 minutes every hour can reduce this risk dramatically. Consuming too much sugar. Sugar inflames the vessel walls. Inflammation makes vessels sticky. Sticky vessels trap cholesterol, calcium, and clotting proteins. This is not about desserts alone. Bread, cereals, healthy fruit juices. These also spike blood sugar. Inflamed vessels are the perfect environment for clots. Insufficient sleep. This often surprises people. During deep sleep, the blood vessels repair themselves. But when sleep is shallow or interrupted, inflammation rises and blood pressure increases the next day. Many strokes occur in the early morning when vessels are under the most stress. Ignoring mild high blood pressure, some seniors think it's just a little high. I feel fine. But mild hypertension damages vessel walls the same way mild sunlight damages skin slowly, consistently, and invisibly. Even a small elevation over time is dangerous. Drinking too much coffee or alcohol. Coffee and alcohol both dehydrate the body, raise blood pressure temporarily, increase stiffness in the vessels. Moderation is essential, especially after 60. Skipping meals or eating only one big meal. This creates blood sugar spikes, hormonal imbalance, inflammation, irregular blood pressure patterns. Regular balanced meals support steady circulation. Greater than doctor, what I'm hearing is this. It's not one villain. It's the accumulation of small stresses that overwhelm the vessels. Greater than exactly, David. But just as small habits increase the risk, small corrections decrease it. We do not need perfection. We need consistency. Now that we've identified the harmful habits, let us shift to the habits that protect the vessels and reduce stroke risk dramatically. Doctor, now that we've discussed the habits that quietly increase stroke risk, let's shift to something much more empowering. The small daily actions that can protect the vessels, strengthen circulation, and support the brain. What I love about your approach is that it's never dramatic or extreme. You always say, do a little, do it consistently, and the body will respond. Help us understand the simple habits seniors can begin today that truly make a difference. Greater than yes, David. Stroke prevention is not built on complexity. It is built on rhythm. The body loves routine. Routine movement, routine hydration, routine nourishment, routine sleep. Let us look at the habits that support vessel health the most. Drinking water in a structured way. Hydration must be intentional after 60. A helpful rule is 1 glass upon waking, 1 glass mid-morning, 1 glass mid-afternoon. Spreading water intake through the day keeps the blood thin, reduces clot risk, and supports steady blood pressure. Seniors should never wait for thirst. Thirst is a late signal. Walking several times a day. Short frequent walks improve circulation more than one long walk. Even 5 minutes after each meal. Lowers blood sugar, reduces inflammation, strengthens arteries, decreases clot risk. Movement is the body's natural stroke prevention medicine. Eating foods that relax the blood vessels. Some foods naturally increase nitric oxide, which opens the arteries. Leafy greens, beets or beet juice, garlic, citrus fruits, pomegranate seeds. Nitric oxide acts like a gentle relaxing signal to the vessels, allowing blood to flow more easily. Getting morning sunlight. Morning sunlight regulates cortisol, reduces inflammation, supports blood pressure rhythm, improves sleep at night. Good sleep leads to better vessel repair. Practicing slow breathing. This is often overlooked but extremely powerful. Slow breathing reduces sympathetic nervous system activity, the system that raises blood pressure. Just 3 to 5 minutes a day can stabilize vessel tension, keeping blood sugar stable. Every spike in blood sugar damages the delicate inner lining of arteries. To stabilize blood sugar, include protein in meals. Avoid sugary drinks. Eat balanced snacks. Do a short walk after eating. If blood sugar stays steady, vessel inflammation stays low. Ensuring adequate sleep. Deep sleep is when vessel repair happens. Establishing a sleep routine. Dim lights in the evening. Avoid screens before bed. Keep the room cool. Maintain consistent sleep time supports the brain's overnight repair cycle. Greater than doctor. What I appreciate in all of this is how realistic it is. Nothing here requires a gym membership, strict dieting, or expensive treatments. These are habits anyone can begin today. Yes, David, the body responds beautifully to consistency, not intensity. Now, let us discuss something extremely important. The vitamins and minerals that directly support vessel strength, blood flow, and brain protection. Greater than doctor. This is the part many viewers have been waiting for. Whenever we talk about heart health or stroke prevention, Seniors immediately ask, what vitamins should I take? What actually helps my circulation? What protects my vessels? But you always caution people. Supplements are powerful and seniors must use them wisely. So today we'll focus on the vitamins you consider most essential for vascular health after age 60 based on decades of your clinical experience. Help us understand which nutrients truly matter and why. Greater than yes, David. Vitamins are not magic, but they fill in the gaps that become more common with age. After 60, absorption changes, stomach acid decreases, and the body's demand for certain nutrients increases. There are 3 categories seniors should focus on. Vitamins that protect the blood vessels, vitamins that support blood flow, vitamins that reduce clot risk. Let us walk through them calmly and clearly. Vitamin B3 niacinamide, the vessel protector. Many people only think of B3 as the flush vitamin, but the form I prefer for seniors is niacinamide, which does not cause flushing. Niacinamide relaxes the blood vessels, supports healthy circulation, reduces inflammation inside arteries, helps stabilize blood pressure, improves the flexibility of vessel walls. Flexible vessels are far less likely to rupture or clog. Seniors often see improvements in cold hands or feet, dizziness, brain fog, mild numbness. This shows that circulation is improving. Vitamin C, the collagen builder. Many seniors don't realize this. Vitamin C is essential for repairing the inner lining of arteries. It strengthens vessel walls, supports collagen production, reduces oxidative stress, helps prevent small tears in arteries. Weak vessel walls are vulnerable to stroke. Vitamin C helps keep them resilient. Vitamin D3, the inflammation regulator. Vitamin D deficiency is extremely common in seniors. Low levels increase blood pressure, inflammation, clotting risk, insulin resistance. D3 supports a calmer vascular system, but it works even better when paired with K2, vitamin K2, the calcium director. K2 tells calcium where to go. It helps calcium move into the bones and away from the arteries. This prevents calcification, a major stroke risk. Without K2, D3 supplementation may push calcium into the wrong places. Magnesium, the vessel relaxer. Magnesium is the mineral that keeps vessels supple. It lowers blood pressure naturally, supports steady heart rhythm, reduces artery stiffness, improves sleep, calms the nervous system. Most seniors are deficient without knowing it. Omega-3, the blood flow supporter. Omega-3 from fish oil thins the blood gently, reduces inflammation, supports brain health, improves vessel elasticity, lowers triglycerides. This nutrient protects nearly every layer of the vascular system. Greater than doctor, it's remarkable how interconnected all of these vitamins are. One strengthens vessels, another moves calcium, another calms inflammation. Together, they create an environment where the arteries can stay open and flexible. But supplements can be confusing, especially timing. So, I think the next question people will have is, when should I take these? Should we move into that? Greater than yes, David, timing is essential especially for seniors. Let us guide them clearly. Doctor, this is one of the biggest sources of confusion for seniors. People write to us all the time saying, I'm taking the right vitamins, so why don't I feel any better? And more often than not, we discover it's not the vitamin that's the problem, it's the timing. Help us understand how seniors can take these nutrients in a way that works with the body, not against it. Yes, David, just as the body has sleep-wake rhythms, it also has absorption rhythms. Hormones rise and fall, stomach acid fluctuates, blood pressure changes hour by hour. When you align supplement timing with these natural rhythms, the effects can be significantly stronger. Let's walk through the structure I recommend for most adults over 60. Morning. Supporting energy vessels and metabolism. The morning is when the body is most ready to use vitamins that increase circulation, support brain function, help metabolism, work with daylight hormones. This is an ideal time for vitamin B3. Niacinamide helps open blood vessels and improve morning circulation. Vitamin D3 plus K2. Your body interprets D3 like morning sunlight. Taking it early supports a natural cortisol rhythm, better blood pressure regulation, and steadier energy. Vitamin C. Excellent in the morning because it enhances collagen repair throughout the day and supports the immune system. Omega-3 optional. If tolerated, Morning is helpful because omega-3 supports daytime cognition and vessel flexibility. This combination gently energizes the nervous system and prepares the vessels for the day's activity. Afternoon gentle, nervous system support. The afternoon is a transition time. This is when cortisol naturally dips and many seniors feel tired, foggy, irritable, low in stamina. A small dose of vitamin C or a second microdose of neonicotinoid if spreading doses can smooth this transition. It prevents blood pressure swings and supports afternoon focus. Evening calming the body and repairing the vessels. Evening is the body's repair window. Blood pressure drops, inflammation levels fall, the nervous system begins preparing for sleep. This is the best time for magnesium, glycinate or citrate. Supports relaxation, reduces nighttime blood pressure and calms overactive nerves. Zinc 10 to 15 milligrams. Important for vessel repair and immune function. Should be taken away from calcium for best absorption. Omega-3 optional. If a person finds it calming, nighttime dosing is acceptable. But those who burp fish oil should avoid taking it late. Greater than doctor. I notice you always separate certain nutrients like zinc and calcium or iron and coffee because you've seen how easily absorption can be blocked. Greater than yes, David. Correct timing is like tuning a radio. The signal becomes clearer, stronger, and seniors often report improvements such as steadier blood pressure, fewer headaches, warmer hands and feet, better sleep, less morning grogginess, improved mental clarity. Not because the vitamins are new, but because the timing has finally aligned with their biology. Doctor, this part is always eye-opening for our viewers. People often ask, what should I take? But the equally important question is, what should I avoid? Because sometimes it's not what you add, it's what you remove that protects your blood vessels. Help us understand the foods that quietly raise stroke risk, especially after the age of 60. Greater than yes, David. When we talk about stroke, most people imagine dramatic causes. Sudden blockages, major clots, severe blood pressure spikes. But the truth is this, vessel damage usually develops slowly, silently over years, and certain foods accelerate that process. Let us walk through the categories that seniors must approach with caution. Refined sugars and sweetened drinks. Sugar is not just a calorie problem. It is a vessel irritation problem. Each sugar spike causes inflammation inside the arteries, stiffening of the vessel walls, increased clotting activity, rapid pressure fluctuations. Over time, this weakens the delicate endothelial lining, the tissue that must stay smooth for blood to flow freely. Soft drinks, sweetened teas, flavored coffees, pastries, and packaged snacks are the biggest triggers for seniors. High sugar intake is strongly linked to higher stroke risk, increased brain aging, insulin resistance, inflammation of small blood vessels. Even switching from flavored drinks to water or herbal tea can dramatically lower these risks. Highly processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli meats, and packaged hot dogs contain nitrites, excess sodium, inflammatory fats. These ingredients constrict the blood vessels and raise blood pressure, especially in older adults whose arteries already move less freely. Studies show that processed meats significantly increase stroke risk, not because of the meat itself, but because of the chemical additives. Excess salt from packaged foods. Salt itself is not the enemy. The problem is hidden salt. Seniors often don't realize that their highest sodium intake comes from canned soups, sauces, frozen meals, crackers, breads, restaurant food. When sodium is too high, the blood volume increases, forcing the vessels to stretch beyond their comfort zone. Weakened vessels are more prone to ruptures and micro tears. Trans fats and deep-fried foods. Trans fats found in margarine shortening, fried chicken, French fries, and commercial baked goods are destructive for vessels. They harden the arteries, raise bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, increase inflammation, thicken the blood. This combination creates the perfect environment for stroke. Even one deep-fried meal can cause measurable vessel stiffness for several hours afterward. Alcohol in excess. Alcohol raises stroke risk for several reasons. Spikes blood pressure, damages the vessel lining, increases irregular heart rhythms, disrupts sleep, which is essential for vascular repair. For seniors, even moderate alcohol must be approached carefully. Greater than doctor. What I appreciate is that you're not telling people to eliminate everything they enjoy. You're asking them to understand the impact and make gradual thoughtful adjustments. Greater than yes, David. The goal is not restriction. The goal is protection. When seniors reduce vessel-irritating foods, the effects often appear quickly. Clearer thinking, steadier energy, more predictable blood pressure, fewer headaches, improved sleep, warmer hands and feet, better circulation during walking. The vessels begin to relax. Blood flow becomes smoother and the risk of clotting or rupture decreases. This brings us to something equally important: the foods that strengthen blood vessels and reduce stroke risk. Doctor, this is the part our viewers look forward to the most. People always ask if certain foods harm the blood vessels, which foods actually help heal them. And what I admire about your approach is how simple and realistic your recommendations are. You never ask seniors to chase exotic ingredients, just everyday foods that have powerful effects. So let's walk through the foods that truly support the brain, the heart, and circulation after 60. Greater than yes, David. Food can be your most reliable form of vascular medicine when chosen intentionally. Let us explore the foods that nourish the arteries, reduce inflammation and support healthy blood flow. Leafy greens, the natural vessel relaxers: spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. All of these greens contain natural nitrates. In the body, nitrates convert into nitric oxide, a chemical that relaxes the blood vessels, improves circulation, lowers blood pressure, boosts oxygen delivery to the brain. Just one serving of leafy greens per day has been shown to significantly reduce stroke risk. The effect is cumulative. Small amounts taken consistently strengthen vessels over time. Berries: protection for the vessel lining. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are rich in flavonoids. These compounds reduce inflammation, support collagen in the arteries, decrease oxidative stress, help keep vessel walls flexible. Seniors who eat berries several times per week show slower cognitive decline and improved circulation. Even frozen berries have these benefits. Beets, nature's blood flow enhancers. Beets are one of the strongest natural sources of nitrates. They help the vessels dilate and improve blood flow to the brain. Beet juice especially has been shown to improve walking endurance, lower resting blood pressure, increase brain oxygenation during tasks. Even a small daily amount can support vascular health. Pomegranate antioxidant support for the arteries. Pomegranate seeds or pure juice contain quinones antioxidants that protect the vessel lining from inflammation. Research shows pomegranate can reduce arterial plaque formation, improve blood flow, lower stiffness in the vessels. For seniors, this means better circulation and lower risk of clots. Garlic, a natural blood pressure regulator. Garlic contains allicin, which helps dilate the arteries, reduce clotting activity, lower blood pressure, improve circulation in the legs. Its effects are gentle but powerful over time, especially when eaten daily. Olive oil, the anti-inflammatory fat. Extra virgin olive oil contains polyphenols that nourish artery walls. It reduces vessel inflammation, improves cholesterol balance, supports smooth blood flow. People who use olive oil regularly have significantly lower stroke risk. Salmon and sardines, omega-3 for vessel flexibility. These fish provide essential omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation, decrease clotting tendency, improve vessel elasticity, support brain function. Even 2 servings per week can make a measurable difference. Greater than doctor, what I notice is that all of these foods have something in common. They reduce inflammation, increase oxygen flow, and protect the inner lining of the arteries. Greater than yes, David. Stroke is not a single event. It is the result of long-term vessel stress. When you eat foods that calm inflammation, feed the vessel walls, reduce clot risk, improve circulation, you create a body that is naturally protected. This leads us to a very important part of this conversation: the early warning signs seniors must never ignore. Greater than doctor, this is the part our audience must hear. Stroke is often described as sudden, but you've taught us that the body usually whispers warnings first. Sometimes hours, sometimes days, and sometimes even weeks ahead. What are the signals seniors should never overlook? Greater than yes, David. The body speaks long before it breaks. And when it comes to stroke, these early signs are moments of opportunity, moments when action can prevent a crisis. Let us walk through them slowly and clearly. Sudden weakness or numbness, a heavy arm, a numb cheek, a peculiar feeling in one side of the body. This is often caused by disrupted blood flow in a specific region of the brain. It may last seconds, minutes, or longer. But even the briefest episode should be treated as a medical event. The most dangerous mistake seniors make is saying, "It went away, so I'm fine now." That temporary improvement is a warning, not a recovery. Changes in speech or understanding. Stroke often disrupts communication pathways. Watch for slurred speech, difficulty finding words, misunderstanding simple sentences, sudden confusion. These symptoms may be subtle. Sometimes seniors notice their own speech sounds strange. Other times, a spouse hears something unusual. Any change in speech, however small, requires urgent attention. Sudden vision changes. A stroke can temporarily or permanently affect the visual centers of the brain. Warning signs include blurry vision, partial vision loss, difficulty focusing, seeing double. Some describe it as a curtain coming down over one eye. This is a medical emergency. Severe unexplained headache. Seniors often think headaches are normal, but stroke-related headaches feel different. Sudden, intense, described as the worst headache of my life. This can indicate bleeding in the brain or a vessel rupture. Never ignore a new severe headache, especially if it comes with nausea or dizziness, imbalance, or loss of coordination. This is especially important after age 60. If someone suddenly stumbles, bumps into objects, feels unable to walk straight, experiences spinning sensations, it may signal reduced blood flow to the cerebellum, the brain's balance center. Sudden fatigue, brain fog, or collapse of energy. This symptom is often dismissed as just aging. But when it appears abruptly, it can be a sign that the brain is not receiving enough oxygen. Some describe it as a wave of heaviness, a sudden fog, the feeling of being pulled down inside the body. These episodes matter. Shortness of breath or chest tightness. While often associated with heart conditions, reduced blood flow or clot formation can also cause these symptoms, especially if they occur at rest at night without exertion. This combination always warrants evaluation. Doctor, what I appreciate about your explanation is how practical it is. These signs are not mysterious. They're noticeable, but people often minimize them or wait for them to go away. Greater than yes, David. And the greatest danger is hesitation. Stroke treatment is time-dependent. Every minute of delay increases the risk of long-term damage. There is a phrase I teach all my older patients. When your body changes suddenly, call immediately. Not tomorrow, not later in the afternoon. Immediately. Greater than doctor. Before we move into solutions, I want to ask you something viewers often request. Are there signs that appear weeks before a stroke? Subtle symptoms people don't associate with danger. Yes, David, and this is very important. The subtle early signs that can appear weeks before a stroke. Here are the gentle warnings many seniors overlook. Frequent episodes of lightheadedness, unexplained pressure behind the eyes, sudden ringing in one ear, difficulty concentrating, brief moments of spacing out, fluctuating blood pressure, persistent neck stiffness, tingling in the fingertips, transient vision dimming. These signs often indicate impaired circulation to small vessels in the brain. They are the earliest invitations to take action, not with fear, but with awareness. Greater than doctor, this is invaluable. Now that seniors know what to watch for, the next question is obvious. What can they do starting today to lower their risk? Doctor, this is the part our viewers appreciate the most. When you take all the science, all the warnings, and turn them into daily actions, anyone over 60 can follow. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just a steady rhythm that supports the brain, the heart, and the blood vessels. Could you guide us through a simple daily routine? Seniors can begin right away. Greater than yes, David. Stroke prevention is not built on heroic actions. It is built on consistency. Small steps repeated daily create profound changes in circulation, vessel strength, and brain resilience. Let me outline a practical routine from morning to night. A structure that works beautifully for older adults. Morning. Opening the circulation and setting the rhythm. The morning is when the body awakens its internal systems. Blood pressure rises, cortisol regulates, and the brain transitions from repair to activity. A stroke prevention morning routine should include a glass of water immediately after waking. This thins the blood after overnight dehydration and supports early morning circulation, the time when strokes are most common. Gentle movement for 5 to 7 minutes, marching in place, slow stretching, or walking in the house helps prevent morning vessel stiffness. A nutrient-rich breakfast includes a protein source combined with a fruit that supports vessel health such as berries or apples. Morning supplements: vitamin B3, niacinamide, vitamin D3 plus K2, vitamin C. These support circulation, collagen repair, and inflammation control through the day. Late morning: stabilizing blood sugar and supporting brain function. Many seniors experience a mid-morning dip. To prevent this, have a small snack if needed. Examples: a handful of nuts, Greek yogurt, or a hard-boiled egg. Take a short walk. Even 5 minutes lowers blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and improves brain oxygenation. Regular movement is one of the strongest predictors of lower stroke risk. Lunch. Anti-inflammatory midday meal. Lunch is a perfect time to include foods that calm vessel inflammation. A stroke-protective lunch might include leafy greens, olive oil, salmon or sardines, lentils or beans, roasted vegetables. Avoid heavy salt, fried foods, and sugary beverages during this time. They strain the vessels and raise blood pressure. Afternoon. Supporting blood pressure stability. Blood pressure can fluctuate in the afternoon. To stabilize it, a small serving of fruit like berries or a sliced apple helps regulate blood sugar and provides antioxidants. Hydration check. Drink a glass of water. Dehydration thickens the blood. Optional small dose of vitamin C supports the vessel lining during the second half of the day. Gentle breathing exercises. 3 minutes of slow breathing can lower blood pressure noticeably. Early evening. Calming the nervous system for repair. Evening is the body's natural recovery time. A stroke prevention evening includes a balanced light dinner, include vegetables, whole grains, and a protein source. Avoid heavy, greasy meals that raise nighttime blood pressure. A walk after dinner. Even 10 minutes dramatically reduces blood sugar spikes and improves overnight circulation. Night. The repair window. Nighttime is when the brain clears toxins, restores vessel integrity, and calms inflammation. Support this process with magnesium glycinate, relaxes the blood vessels, and supports steady nighttime blood pressure. Zinc, if part of your routine, supports vascular repair and immune function. Consistent sleep routine, cool room, dim lights, and fixed sleep-wake times help the brain function optimally. Limit screens. Blue light disrupts melatonin, leading to poor quality sleep, a known stroke risk factor. Greater than doctor. This routine is beautifully simple, but everything in it has a purpose. It supports circulation, blood pressure, inflammation, brain function, and even emotional balance. And what I love most is that it feels achievable. Anyone watching can begin today without equipment, without expense, without overwhelm. Greater than yes, David, prevention is not about doing everything. It is about doing the right things reliably. This routine followed daily can strengthen the vessels, balance the blood pressure, and reduce the risk of stroke dramatically. Doctor, we've talked about signs, habits, supplements, and foods. But I know many seniors watching right now feel overwhelmed by their health, their medications, or the changes that come with aging. Before we end, I'd like you to speak directly to them the way you do in our sessions with clarity and reassurance. Greater than yes, David. This message is for every older adult listening. Aging is not a failure. It is a biological process, a natural transition from speed to wisdom, from urgency to steadiness, from reaction to reflection. And the truth that many forget is this: the brain and blood vessels are reapable. Even after 60, even after 70, even after 80, your body has not stopped working for you. It simply needs your cooperation. When you hydrate intentionally, when you walk consistently, when you nourish your vessels wisely, when you sleep deeply, when you take supplements at the right time, when you listen to your body instead of ignoring it, you give your brain the conditions it requires to stay alert, stable, and strong. Let me tell you something I reminded my patients often. Recovery is not about youth. It is about routine. You do not need to become an athlete. You do not need to remove every food you enjoy. You do not need to buy expensive programs or devices. What you need is constancy, gentle, steady actions that tell your vessels, I am supporting you. I am paying attention. Even the smallest changes, a glass of water in the morning, a short walk after meals, a handful of berries, a magnesium supplement taken at night, are messages of restoration. You are not powerless. Your vessels are not doomed. Your brain is not destined to fail. You have influence, and every choice you make builds a healthier tomorrow. Greater than doctor, that was beautiful. And I know many of our viewers needed to hear exactly that. Before we end today's video, is there one simple question you want to leave our audience with? Something that encourages them to take the first step. Greater than yes, David. To everyone watching, I ask you this. Which small habit will you begin tonight or tomorrow morning? Not all of them, just one to support your brain and protect your blood vessels. Tell us in the comments. Your answer may inspire another senior to begin their own journey. Greater than thank you, doctor. And thank you to everyone watching Senior Health Academy. If this video helped you, share it with someone you care about. We'll see you in the next lesson. And until then, take care of yourself. Music.